Alright, magandang gabi po. It's a Wednesday at nagpapatuloy pa rin ang ating SEA Games Diaries. Kung saan ang tampok po natin kahapon na kasama po natin ang men's team na nag-silver medal sa SEA Games. Ngayon naman, ang mga bronze medalists mula naman sa women's team ng Philippine Floorball na nag-uwi naman ng bronze medal, first ever medal para sa Philippine women's floorball sa SEA Games. From no medal showing in 2019, now it's a bronze medal. It's a breakthrough, ika nga. And we get to talk with them personally sa ating programa via Zoom. So unahin muna natin ang team captain ng ating national team, the forward ng ating squad, si Jade Rivera. Jade, welcome back.
Yes, thank you for having me ulit, Gab.
And makakasama din natin isa pang key member ng ating team, defender forward, si Ima Cruzado.
Hello po, thank you for having me.
And lastly, all the way from Palawan, nagbabakasyon, one of the defenders also of our bronze medal winning team, si Sarah Poral. Sarah, your opening shots.
Hello po. Thank you so much for having me too.
All right. So again, thank you girls for joining us in our program and congratulations sa inyong pagkapanalo nga sa SEA Games ng bronze medal. Maituturing natin na isang breakthrough itong pagkapanalo natin. And thank you for reminding me na hindi pala kayo nanalo ng bronze medal during that time. Pero at least it's a good improvement nga pala from 2019 itong bronze medal showing sa SEA Games. So Jade, kamusta na kayo right after the tournament? Kahit tapos na, we could seem to feel the effects of bringing home the bronze. Mixed emotions pa rin ba kayo as of now?
Yeah, I think kasi po we're based po in different places, and it's really nice to see, most of our teammates still feeling the high from the placing for the bronze kasi 'di ba may mga activities po sila sa Philippines, and it's really just spreading more of our achievements to the local players. Pati naman po dito sa Singapore, we still feel the high from the bronze because our league is still ongoing, and it's really a good morale booster po sa lahat ng team namin and for all the supporters. And like what you said, it's really a great improvement po from 2019 to now, and it really shows that floorball, men's and women's, that we are able to bring glory and to bring our position in the medal placing better for the Philippines.
Jade, matanong ko lang, yung 2019 lineup, sa inyong tatlo, sino yung na-retain from 2019?
Si Sarah po at saka ako. Si Ima po is a new addition po for this year.
Okay, so tuloy kita Jade. The last time we have competed nga was in sa 2019 SEA Games dito sa Manila. Wala tayong napalaro na medalya noon. How do you reflect upon 2019 and even the years in between when we had the pandemic hiatus, tumigil muna kayo sa training, and when they resume the training as restrictions were lifted, parang ganado na ulit kayo na maglaro even though nasa malalayo kayong mga lugar, yung iba sa Singapore, yung iba sa Sweden, at may mga ilan sa Pilipinas na nagte-training.
I think upon reflection po, nung 2019, iba po talaga yung team namin. And it really showed na, we have a shot at the bronze medal kasi dati po we lost due to overtime sa golden goal po. But it did show that Philippines had the capability, at least for the men's and women's, to fight for a medal placing, even though it's bronze. And like what you said, like from our hiatus from COVID, right? I think it really brought back a lot of fire. And I think we had this conversation in our last interview. Like a lot of the girls and even the men's, we are also excited. We're also motivated to just get back into the scene. And this was really a great redemption for us sa SEA Games, kahit na hindi naman po sa home country namin in the Philippines. So I think even though COVID brought, negative impacts to society, it did bring some positivity as well. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us really want to get back to the scene and really wanted to prove our worth, and our standing in the country. So yeah.
Okay, we'll get back to you, Jade, later. But let's ask muna yung dalawa pang members, si Ima at si Sarah. Ima, ikaw muna. Ikaw yung isa sa mga bagong miyembro ng national team na naglaro for the SEA Games. And may prior experience ka rin na maglaro doon sa iba pa mga international competitions. Were you confident doon sa training camp na put up ng nating national team core right before the SEA Games? Yung iba nagte-train sa overseas while others dito sa atin, but they managed to gather online, and even in the last few weeks nang dito kayo magte-training sa Manila at magkaroon kayo ng mga intense tune-up matches against the local floorball clubs. Ano masasabi niyo sa training?
Even though po bago po ako, it's been a really good experience talaga to play with the national team of the Philippines, and to be able to be playing first in the Philippines before the SEA Games, and seeing the local players and seeing the sport back home growing, seeing the local players then po and playing with them, it really gave me confidence po to represent the country, to see yung suporta sa Pinas at dito din po sa Singapore when nag-training din kami po before going to the Philippines. I feel that we prepared a lot before the SEA Games, having a lot of training camps dito sa Singapore, dun din po sa Sweden sila, at dun sa Pinas. I feel like the family, even though we're so far apart, we were still able to bond, and we were still able to play together very well. And because of these training camps, it really gave me the confidence for SEA Games that we would perform and represent the country. Yeah.
By the way, Ima, were you played noong AOFC?
For AOFC po, back in 2020 for dito sa Singapore, I played in the under-19 Singapore team po before moving to the Philippines. So I spent my training years as a youth dito po sa Singapore sa youth team nila po before moving to the Philippines.
Okay, so dati ka palang naglaro for Singapore. So parehas pala kayo na ni Jade na nag-base sa Singapore, at mukhang maganda-ganda din yung inyong training camp with the other Singapore-based players na kasama doon sa national pool, and of course nag-gather kayo for the training camp within the last few weeks before the SEA Games sa Cambodia. Ima, please.
Sorry.
Nag-training din ba kayo sa Singapore? Right after nito ay lumipat kayo for Manila, and then dumiretso na kayo for Cambodia, Ima?
We have trainings po din dito for the Singapore-based players sa Philippines team. We have regular trainings din po lahat kami dito sa Singapore. We'll have trainings, and also before SEA Games po yung coach namin pumunta din po dito sa Singapore to train us all together. But even before that po, meron din po kaming trainings together.
Okay, what about in the case of Sarah? So, how's the training and preparations for you for the SEA Games?
The preparations po namin dito is very different kasi ang buong players na katira po sa Sweden, we all play in different home clubs. So we didn't have a chance to train together before the tournament. Pero meron natin ng isang training camp in Sweden before, together with the Swedish with the players that live in Sweden from the men's team as well. So nag-mix po kami dito sa Sweden hanggang bagong pumunta sa Pilipinas. But before the tournament, it was mostly individual training, and I was training with my own home team before coming out to SEA Games po.
Okay, I know Sarah, most of our core team natin for the SEA Games are the debutants, mga first timers. And of course, nag-guide kayo ng mga veterans and through the efforts of our coaches as well to give some pointers in every huddle. Nalalampasan ninyo yung mga challenges in every training and even the trials and sacrifices.
Sorry po, what's the question?
Most of the members of the team were debutants, first timers, and nag-guide din sila ng mga coaches and even the veteran players katulad mo to give some pointers in every huddle. Pero at least nalalampasan nila yung mga challenges nila and of course yung mga sacrifices along the way. What can you say?
Also, there was a lot of challenges as well, especially just like Jade mentioned that because we all live in different places, it's hard to play together as a team and you have to be very prepared when the tournament is starting. And the same, of course, for sa lahat ng mga bagong players namin din because they haven't gone through all of our play-up systems, for example. So it was a bit challenging for them, but we tried our best to prepare ourselves and help each other before SEA Games. Tapos, and also to utilize our time as much as possible when we were in Alabangco and during the pre-camp, just to try to get through the playing systems as much as possible. But it was challenges, and we had a lot of time to sacrifice from school and work. But I'd say it was definitely worth it. Po.
Okay, balik tayo kay Jade. Before the SEA Games, meron kayong realistic targets para sa koponan na makaabot sa podium just before the games mismo. Of course, nakadetermine ito sa magandang training methods na ginawa ng mga coaches at para ma-polish at ma-improve yung mga skills ninyo. And this is also serves as a good training para sa iba pang mga competitions na nakaline up for this year and even next year leading up into the World Championships kung ma-qualify kayo.
Yeah, I think yung effort po ng mga coaches has always been, it has always been 100%, especially for our head coach Noel. There was an expectation, of course, to at least to have a podium finish for SEA Games, and I mean the hope for all of us was, of course, to get gold, but along the way we did face some issues with injuries, and some of our players can't make it due to studies. Pero kahit po may mga disadvantages po kami, and like the hopes or the lights of getting a better placing like sort of reduced, but the coaches, the management, and the staff, they're all so confident then that kahit na it's hard to get a gold, we can still place for maybe second or third. And like what Ima said earlier on, and Sora, like we have done so many camps, so much dedication has been put in by the coaching staff, by PFA to really train us up. Even nung qualifiers, I know that that was really disappointing for the team that we couldn't qualify for this year's championships, and I think it's more disappointing because like it's supposed to be held in Singapore, and that's the first ever that such championship can be held inside Asian continent. But yeah, I wouldn't deny any of the efforts done by the coaches, and I'm still glad that we are able to podium finish, and I'm sure now it can be a bronze, right? But in our future games, the next competition is coming up will be the indoor games in November. We're gonna try to place or even place in a better position. So everything, there's always a rollover effect, and I believe that it's always in a positive way, in a positive light, in all our competition, especially for this year and even next year for AUFC.
Okay, let's go now to our the most exciting part, yung breakdown natin and assessment in the past performance in the Cambodia SEA Games. Amidst the challenges ng nagtitraining kayo in different places in the world, pressure, trials, rust at the backs, the team managed to win the bronze medal, a first in the history of Philippine women's floorball. We have a one win against host Cambodia, two losses against Thailand and Singapore. And they were also figured in a draw against Malaysia, 2-2. And speaking of Malaysia, they triumphed in the bronze medal game by the score of 4-2 to notch the bronze medal finish dito sa Southeast Asian Games. Walk us through about yung second run-up showing ng ating Pilipina floorball bets. What's your assessment on your part? Unahin natin si Jade, then si Sarah, and si Ima. But Jade, your assessment po for the SEA Games performance.
Okay, so my assessment for this SEA Games performance, I think our first game was Thailand. That was a really tough game for all of us. I mean, we know naman po that Thailand has has strong players and are technically and tactically strong. What was our score again? 9. I think it was 9-2. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah and Ima. I think it was 9-2. It was disappointing, but I think we did really well in the first period. Yung first period po namin, I think we were just down by either 1-0 or 2-0. And during the period break po, when we were inside our locker room, we were talking about how we can still bounce back from the goal difference from first period. But of course, due to forced and unforced errors, we let in some goals. And I think, I still want to be positive about the game, but generally, sports is like that. We're gonna have good days, we're gonna have bad days, and everything just started to, fall apart for the team. And we have to be realistic about it. We have to accept the fact that we had a loss, but I feel na kahit na we lost in the first game, the team motivation is still strong for the coming matches. So I mean that was generally my analysis from the first game, because the first game was really an important one for us to start our campaign. But I will leave the rest of the match analysis for maybe Sarah and Ima.
Okay, so bagitin na lang muna natin, Thailand lost 2-9, Malaysia draw 2-2, Singapore ay lost 0-5, and Cambodia a win 14-3. So Sarah will give some additional inputs on the performance of the matches, all down up until yung ating bronze medal game against Malaysia. Please go ahead.
Sige po. So, ang following match namin I was against Malaysia, and we draw. It was 2-2. I felt that maybe some players were a little bit down from the day before against Thailand, and we also were very hungry for revenge. But in the Malaysian team, they're very strong, very fast players. And at the first period, I thought that we were a little bit too nice to them. So we let them through a little bit more than we should have. And then we did take the lead, but after a while we let our guard down a bit. And that is when they scored 2 goals on us on power play. So we were in the disadvantaged position. So after that game, it was a bit very frustrated emotions in the team, because we also felt like we can do a lot better and that we didn't. So I think it was, even though we didn't win as we hoped to, it was also a good motivation and a feeling of revenge that was growing inside of us. So it was good. But then against I don't know, maybe Ima wants to take against Singapore.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to add then to what Sarah said about the 2 goals that were scored by Malaysia. Nag-score po sila during power play. So that means we were down by 1 man. And that really highlighted our weakness. you know, in terms of tactics, because we were really struggling with our box play, which is our 4v5, and that really, I think it really concerned not just the team but more so the coaches, because the only times that Malaysia scored was when we were down by one man, and yeah, I think they really tried to either change the lines, or talk to the players who are always doing the box play, because I felt like that was not I felt even the coaches felt that that was our main weakness at that point, post Malaysia game, for the first Malaysia game. Yeah. So
Okay.
it was because of our weak box play, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, si Ima naman, your turn.
I think throughout the games, we started a little bit shaky with the Thailand game, but definitely throughout the competition, you can see talaga yung strength namin as we got stronger, and we persevered through each game until we reached third placing talaga. I feel that there were a lot of bumps. There were a bit of tactical issues with us that during the game, but I feel like throughout the game, in throughout each period talaga, we continue to motivate each other. We continue to push on, and we didn't give up even though we were on the loss. I feel like yung spirito namin throughout the game talaga just stayed strong. That's why we were able to clinch third placing. I feel that there was nothing wrong naman with the team. I think everyone was doing really well, and the coaching staff as well, and yung supporters namin during each game. It was very motivating, and we continued to motivate each other throughout the game. I felt that even though some games we didn't get our expected win, we still pulled through, and we kept our heads high after each game, and we got over the loss, or we got over the draw to continue on and hopes to get our third placing, which we did.
Okay, Jade, imagine from zero in 2019 to a bronze medal in 2023, and hopefully pag nasama ang floorball sa SEA Games sa Thailand, baka magka-gold man lang. Were you surprised that at least nakabawi kayo or nag-bounce back from that draw against Malaysia, at nung nakaharap ninyo, sila yung nakaharap ninyo, kayo naman ang nagtagumpay and won that bronze medal game. Siguro nanaig talaga yung performance ng ating mga players, and of course the collective team effort, kaya nanalo ko yun ng bronze medal. What's your reaction upon receiving the medals na inyong ibinigay during the medal ceremony?
To be honest, there was no doubt in my heart and in my mind that we could win the bronze. From 2019 SEA Games, okay, so they beat us due to overtime. They won. Malaysia deserved that bronze. After the next time that we ever met them was, I think we had this talk before as well, was in AOFC in 2022, right? And we beat them in with a score of 9-2. So from that time onwards to nung SEA Games, there was no doubt in my mind that we can beat them again. Of course it was they gave us a tough fight. Malaysia is always, they are very, determined and hardworking players, and a lot of us, we know the players as well, like we're friends. So, before po ng bronze medal game, even the captain came up to me and sabi niya po sa akin, like, like, hey, you girls need to watch out. Like we watch your games. We think we know what you're gonna do. We're gonna give you a hard one. So like, even though like she said that, there's no doubt in my mind that we can and that we will win again, because of the mentality of our girls. Like we started from the bottom during our SEA Games campaign this year. No doubt we were emotional. There were tears cried during the games, but I feel na all the girls needed to do was just to like just to have some self introspection every time after the game, and to have our teammates, you know, encourage us and to be noisy. I think what was the good thing that came out from the bronze medal game was before the game even started, you know, like me, Sarah, and Roxy made sure that the team were in high spirits from the warm up itself. You know, like when we score, we are gonna shout, we're gonna encourage, we're gonna cheer our team, not just the outfield player, but our goalkeeper as well, Pia. You know, like every save that she does during the warm up, we're gonna cheer, and I think that really translated forward the actual game, the bronze medal itself. So if you were to ask me whether I had any doubts, like I said, I didn't have any doubt that we could place. Even though gold was a little bit far for us in this campaign, I knew that we were gonna place in this SEA Games 2023.
Sarah, winning the bronze medal seems not bad for the team as from dismal finish in 2019. Now that we got the podium finish in 2023, and of course, this serves as an indication that you guys will be preparing for more action along the way, including IMAG and other tournaments. How the bronze medal finish gives some boost or impact in the growth of our Philippine floorball, especially towards the grassroots, and of course promoting it to other women and of course the our youth today.
Opo, yeah, I really feel like the Malaysia win and the bronze medal really gave our team so much more confidence that mas malakas kami, we have so much more power to give, and we have so much more to develop and show the floorball world. Pero ang mas importante is the feeling to bring home a medal to Filipinas and to be able to feel so much pride representing the Philippines and showing the flag and the medal to all of our family members when coming back here. And napunta po ako sa Las Piñas from my mom's hometown, and I got to bring the SEA Games medal together with my kuya, Ludwig Coral, from the men's team. And it brought so much joy and pride to our family. And I feel like one of the highlights of this SEA Games tournament itself is just that I got to see my pinsan hold a floorball stick for the first time. She never knew what floorball was, so she was just holding the stick and running around and grabbing it. But it was so nice to see. And now my tita is sending me videos of her running around with the walis in the living room playing floorball. So that's what we're trying to strive for, and that's what we want to awaken the interest for all the kids and all of the family members to see more of what floorball actually is. And it was so nice after SEA Games din na meron po kami ng training camp in De La Salle and also in Muntinlupa Sports Complex, and we had to have training sessions with all the local kids, and it was so much fun to show them, and it was so much more also feeling so much pride and joy to actually bring a medal to show them as well that this is what we have and this is what we can bring to our country, and hopefully this spreads more interest in the sports in the future.
Okay, ladies, especially Jade, I have two more questions, but we only have 2 minutes left on our session, so I need a minute break to prepare for our part 2, and then we properly end this interview nga po. So we'll get back to you in a minute. We'll be back.